Welcome to the MacsFuture Weekly Podcast. All Apple talk and no chit-chat. Okay, welcome to the Apple Podcast by Lex at MacsFuture.com. Today is Black Friday, November 25th, and we've got all sorts of interesting Apple stuff to talk about. So let's get to it. Remember, this is a chit-chat-free podcast about all things Apple, and you can support it by giving it positive reviews in the iTunes store or on YouTube. There's a video version of this on the MacsFuture.com channel on YouTube or on Blip TV. Also, there's a video version of this on iTunes under Apple Things. So thanks for listening, and here we go. Okay, so as the website MacRumors points out, and as well as many other websites, today is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and that means there's not only sales in all sorts of products in anticipation of the Christmas holidays, but also Apple has some sales, and so do people who sell Apple products. So Apple has a sale today. It's still November 25th, and you might want to check it out. There's a number of things on sale. The iPad is about $45 off, the iPad 2. If you go to Apple's website, you can see all sorts of stuff that's for sale. So what's interesting is not everything's for sale, but let's check some things that are for sale. You've got specials on the iPad 2 from Apple. Let's see. The cheapest Apple today is $458 instead of $499. Across the board, they're all on sale. For example, the 32 gigabyte one is $51 off, and the 64 gigabyte one is $61 off. Those are the big sales for the iPad, but other things are for sale also. What's interesting is the iPhone isn't for sale. That's the only thing I don't think is for sale. The MacBook Airs across the line are about $101 off. So the 11-inch 64 gigabyte MacBook Air is $898 instead of $999. The 128 gigabyte 11-inch is $1,000.98 instead of $1,199. Similarly, so basically you get $101 off of any of the MacBook Airs. Not a bad deal. Let's see. There's other sales that look enticing if you want to check it out. The iPod Touch is $21 off, like I mentioned. The iMacs. The iMacs are $101 off across the line. So that seems to be the magic number, not only for the MacBook Airs, but for the iMacs. Not a bad deal. The MacBook Pros, they're also $101 off. So all Macs appear to be $101 off. Now the Mac Mini is not on sale. So I wonder why. Why not the Mac Mini? Nor is the Mac Pro. Maybe because they're going to be updated? Not sure. What else? They have a Christmas special for the on the Apple Store. So you might want to check out that. Let's see if I can find it. So with the banner that says the day you've waited 364 days for, Apple has a page devoted to sales for today. And let me go through some other things that you might want to quickly check out if you're listening to this iPod podcast. Or hopefully I can get it out before midnight so you can hear it. The Airport Extreme Base Station is $21 off. The red leather cover for the iPad is $11 off, so instead of $69, it's $58. But also third-party products are cheaper. You can get the M Audio Key Station 49-key USB MIDI controller for $68 instead of $99.95. Those beautiful Bowers & Wilkins Zeppelin Air speakers are $498 instead of $599, so that's a pretty good deal. You get $101 off there. Let's see, you can get a beautiful Cole Haan 15-inch leather messenger bag for the MacBook Pro for $298 instead of $400, so $100 off there. So there's really all kinds of beautiful, third-party accessories. You can get the spec candy shell for the iPhone 4S for $24 instead of $34.95. And there's other cool things. There's the Disney Spotlight digital wireless mic and karaoke app. I'm thinking of getting that. That's only $68 instead of $99.95. Or you can get the Parrot AR drone, which you can control with the iPhone, for $248. You can get the Silverlit interactive Bluetooth remote control Enzo Ferrari car, which is $58 instead of $79.95. So, there's a real nice selection of stuff, including the Scoshi MyTrek wireless pulse monitor for $98. I have my eye on the Ferrari car for my son. It's only $58, and you can basically control it with your iPhone or iPod Touch using Bluetooth control. And I don't know, it looks pretty cool. So, you better rush to it and check it out. Now, MacRumors also pointed out sales at other sites. For example, Best Buy was also selling iPad 2 models at $45 off, but they're apparently sold out now. Mac Mall offered $25 to $45 discounts, and you could really get a crazy discount on I guess it's the same on the MacBook Air from Amazon. They would have $101 off. Other things that are for sales, the DJ app is sold on iOS for $9.99 instead of $19.99. Real Racing, which is a fantastic app, is only 99 cents instead of $2.99. And 1Password is only $24.99 instead of $49.99. So there are a lot of sales out there today on Apple-related products, so go look for them. Now, changing the topic, the iPhone 4S is selling well, and it looks like it's going to be made someplace other than China. A report comes out from Cult of Mac that Foxconn is now pumping out iPhones out of its Brazilian factory, which is pretty cool. Cult of Mac says, we were fortunate enough to get an exclusive look at Foxconn's new factory earlier this week. But already, they're seeing Brazilian-built iPhones on the market. So they have a screenshot of a 8 gigabyte iPhone 4 with a model number that includes BR for Brazil. So that's pretty cool. So, I think it's good for Apple to diversify and make these devices not only in China but in other places. It sort of hedges risks, Okay, so Apple has a new iPod Touch ad, and it's kind of peppy. It's basically got people walking around, these cool young people, using voice recognition. I'm not sure how they use voice recognition in the iPod Touch, but it's kind of cool. They're tweeting from the iPod Touch. They're FaceTiming, and they're iMessaging. That's what they're doing. They're iMessaging. So basically, it says share the fun iPod Touch, and that seems to be the gist of the message. So I think Apple's trying to show that the iPod Touch is a good communication device. You can FaceTime, you can Twitter, and you can iMessage. Those were the three things that were communicated in the ad. And I do think, one day we will have an iPod Touch with 3G connectivity in it. And think about that. Once you have that, you can sort of ditch the iPhone. You can use voice over IP over the GPS, the 3G connection or the 4G connection of an iPod Touch. So, I think it doesn't get a lot of acclaim, the iPod Touch, but it is sort of the stealth iOS device of Apple. Now, other kind of cool things for sale this week include something I saw on the TUAW.com website, and that is the ThinkGeeks Arcade on sale. Now, if you've got an iPad, you can turn it into an arcade device by putting your iPad in this, and it makes it look like an old-fashioned arcade unit. So it's on sale today for $59.99. It's kind of cool. It's a cool touch. It works with Atari's Greatest Hits app. So this is kind of a gift for somebody who doesn't have has everything. I mean, I think it's $40 more usually. It's usually $109.99, and I think it's kind of cool. It's a cool holiday gift for people. Okay, so one of the more obnoxious things that came out this week was an ad that Samsung ran making fun of Apple customers who stand in line and wait for the iPhone. And I have a link to it on my blog.
Guys, I'm so amped I could stay here for 3 weeks.
Basically,
9 hours down, and we're almost in the
basically in the ad, they have these people who look kind of shallow waiting in line for the iPhone. And as you know, they're made to look kind of stupid, like they're just sort of mindlessly standing in line. And then they see some people using Samsung Galaxies with bigger screens and 4G speeds. And one guy says, "Well, I'm not gonna get it because I'm creative," and the other guy goes, "Dude, you're a barista." And I think this ad is going to really backfire for Samsung, because the ad basically makes fun of iPhone customers. Rather than attacking the iPhone itself, it's basically trying to claim that the people who, wait in line and want an iPhone are somehow stupid and shallow and, artsy losers. And it's really dumb, because first of all, you're not going to get people defecting to Samsung by putting them down. And I think this is a sign of desperation from Samsung. I wrote, "Samsung, you dumb company. The reason people wait in line for iPhones is because they are a superior product to your copycat phones. Plus, most people don't want a 4-inch screen because it will be too big to use on one hand. Plus, people haven't figured out yet how to make a 4G phone that doesn't suck battery life too quickly." So you've probably seen this ad around, and it's, Samsung, the reason people are standing in line is because it's a better phone. It's a better phone because it has a better app ecosystem. It was around first. It's the software is integrated with the hardware. Samsung is just basically using whatever Google's Android open source operating system is. And in the long run, that doesn't make for a superior product. Apple optimizes the hardware to work with the software. It's kind of hard for Samsung to do that when it's not really developing the software. So anyways, thumbs down, Samsung. I think it's really annoying that you would stoop so low as to make fun of a competitor's customers. It's really the cheapest form of competition. Now, in terms of Apple selling iPhones, it's clearly on a roll. And Cult of Mac had a very interesting article, and I guess it was based on work done by a Morgan Stanley analyst named Katie Huberty. And basically the article, which came out by Ed Sutherland on November 24th, was entitled, "Adding Carriers is More Important to Apple's Bottom Line Than Releasing the iPhone 5." And it makes a good point, which is that, and this is Huberty who said this, which is that subscriber growth in 760 carriers over the past 5 years was evenly split between new subscribers to existing carriers and subscribers to new carriers. And the iPhone has gone from just AT&T in 2007 to 230 carriers in 105 countries. So basically, there are a lot of more carriers for Apple to grow into. And so the potential growth for Apple in these other carriers is critical to Apple's bottom line. And so it's really not coming out with a new phone that gets you new subscribers. It's getting on more carriers. So Apple has right now, it's only inked deals with 30% of the nearly 800 global service providers. So, as Apple continues to expand, it'll sign on to more carriers, and that's where its real revenue growth will be. So very valid point, I think, here, which is, yes, new products create growth, but also getting the iPhones on additional carriers will help sell more of them. Now, the website AppleInsider, in an article by Mikey Campbell, had another study which explains Apple's success with the iPhone and why the iPhone is the industry leader in user retention. And the article says, a new study finds that iPhone owners are the most loyal smartphone users and cites customers' personal investments in Apple's ecosystem as driving over 80% retention rate for the device. This report came from a research firm called GfK, which showed that 84% of current iPhone owners plan to purchase another Apple handset when they replace their cell phone. And it goes on to say the study conducted over 4,500 interviews of smartphone owners in various countries and found that the iPhone had the highest retention of customers, followed by devices run by Google's Android and RIM's BlackBerry with 60 and 48%. So Apple was at 84% retention and Android at 60%. So that means that Apple could steal a lot of customers from Android if they're only at 60%. So it says here that it's the ecosystem with apps and other devices that work with it. Look, I think it goes back to iTunes. I mean, one of the reasons the people bought iPods was because they had their music on iTunes and vice versa. And so to the extent there's services like apps and iCloud and other devices that are linked to the iPhone and iPod and iPad, you're going to be sort of locked in. So, for example, AirPlay is one such thing. To the extent you need an iPhone or iOS device to work with the Apple TV AirPlay, which is a great feature, you're going to stick with Apple devices because you're going to learn that function. You're going to lose that functionality with like Android or, let's say, a Windows system. So clearly the ecosystem is critical to retaining people on iOS devices. Well, one thing that could affect Apple in the long run is whether or not AT&T's proposed merger with T-Mobile will go through. And right now it looks like it might not go through. The AT&T is withdrawing its merger application, according to TUAW.com, with the FCC, but is going to pursue fighting it out with the Justice Department. Now, what's going on is this. The FCC has scheduled an administrative hearing, which could stretch to next summer, and to block the deal between AT&T and T-Mobile. And the Justice Department sued to block the merger. So I'm not sure why AT&T is withdrawing the application, but they're indicating that they may have to book a $4 billion charge in the fourth quarter to prepare for the contingency of paying T-Mobile if the deal doesn't go through. AT&T had promised T-Mobile a breakup fee of $6 billion if the deal doesn't go through. So the main concern by the government is that the merger is not good for consumers, that it will further consolidate the cell phone market from 4 major players to 3 major players. And I kind of agree. I think we need more competition in the cell phone market. AT&T and Verizon, if they don't have competition, they're going to continue to gouge us. One area that they gouge people is by charging all this money for texting. When you're paying, let's say, $30 or $25 a month for unlimited data to the web, they're making you pay another $20 a month or so for texting, which is crazy. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. Now, an acquaintance of mine and I were at a party, and we had a big debate over Android and iOS. And this friend of mine was certain that iOS will fail because, it's Apple's closed operating system. And, I would point out how, having a closed operating system is superior because it allows you to optimize the software and the hardware to make a better product. And he kept pointing to how Android market has grown and grown, and saying that that's going to overtake Apple. And I kept pointing out that, look, of course it grew, because for a long time iPhone was only on AT&T, and other cell phone providers had no choice but to go to Android, which was free. That's one reason Android grew so quickly, particularly on Verizon and Sprint. The other reason is that because it's free, there's a lot of cheap Android smartphones. There's a lot of deals where you could get the Android devices for only $0.01 with a long-term contract. And Apple's now going to make inroads, I think, in the Android market, because it's now on 3 carriers, Sprint, Verizon, and AT&T in the United States. And plus, it's on 30% of the carriers worldwide. And Apple's now selling a 99-cent phone, the iPhone 3GS. But there's another phenomenon here which sort of undermines how successful the Android market is. A recent survey, as reported in AppleInsider by Neil Hughes on November 21st, said that Google's Android market earns just 7% of what Apple's App Store makes. So a lot of people are buying Android phones, but they're not really using them and buying many apps. According to this story, analyst Gene Munster with Piper Jaffray said on Monday that he believes Google's Android market has generated about 7% of the gross revenue that Apple's App Store has raked in since inception. And he goes on to say in a note to investors, in other words, it appears that Apple has roughly 85 to 90% market share in dollars spent on mobile applications. He went on to say, well, Google has closed the gap in terms of app dollars spent over the last year, and we continue to believe Android will grow smartphones share faster than Apple we believe Apple is likely to maintain 70+% share of mobile app dollars spent over the next 3 to 4 years. So that's a pretty huge percentage. So Munster said that he believes about $330 million has been generated on the Android market to date, while only 1.3% of the applications on the Android market are paid. So the vast majority of applications are free. And it could be that, people who are cheaper are going to Android devices and don't want to pay for any apps. So I think that's going to hinder Android because a lot of developers are not going to go to that environment if they can't get compensated. Munster polled developers at Apple's annual Worldwide Developer Conference and found that 43% of the respondents develop applications for Google Android as well as iOS. So, I don't know. I think that's going to be a continued challenge for Apple's competitor. Now, it'll be interesting to see if the Kindle Fire, which is a version of Android, but which is sort of made to be like a proprietary Amazon version, will it attract more developers? Okay, so there's a new device that's come out that really has caught my attention. It's a new microphone that works with the iPad and the iPhone. And it just plugs into the dock, and it's kind of cool. It's made by Tascam, which is actually a famous manufacturer of audio recording devices. It's been around forever. They used to make the 4-track cassette tape recorders back in the 70s and 80s, I guess. And it's called the IM2 stereo microphone. And it costs $80, which ain't bad. And basically, it's a stereo condenser. Here are the specs. It's a stereo condenser microphone for the iPhone 4, iPod Touch, or iPad dock connection. It's got high-quality stereo condenser microphones, same as the best-selling DR series recorders. The microphones adjust 108 degrees front to back. There's a built-in analog to digital converter and microphone preamp for low noise recording. It can go up to 125 decibels maximum level for recording loud shows without distortion, which is great. It's got switchable limiter, which attenuates high-level signals to prevent recording overload. It's got adjustable input level control. It's powered through the phone, iPad, or iPod Touch dock connector. And it has USB input, allows the iPhone or iPad to be charged from a USB connection, or optional Tascam PSP5 i5U. So I guess you can still connect it to be charged. It has CD quality digital recording at 44 kilohertz 16-bit linear PCM. It's compact size, and it weighs only 1 ounce, a little over 1 ounce. I mean, I think this is really cool, and I'm thinking of pre-ordering it. You can now pre-order by now. Let's see, what does it say? You can buy it now at B&H. Let's see, B&H is a great store in Manhattan. It's $79.99 pre-order from B&H. I think a lot of people are going to buy it. Let's see, they got some more images of it here. It looks really compact, like you just plug it in. Here's the in-use. You just clip it onto the top of actually it's the bottom of the iPhone. That's the only thing. You might have to sort of invert your phone. So there is like a USB connection, so you could charge it while it's still connected to your iPhone or iPad. I mean, I think this is a highly useful device. Certainly, if you want to record podcasts, it can record in stereo. And, I think this is a great addition. One of the problems with the iPad or iPhone is, it's hard to get a lot of mics that work well with it to record audio, whether you want to record at a concert or just record at a podcast. So this could be a real boost to make these devices sort of independent audio recording devices. So I may buy it and do my own review of it. Okay, another cool device came to my attention via the TUAW.com website. It's actually an attachment for an iPhone. It's called the Olloclip, and it's a 3-in-1 iPhone camera attachment. And this looks kind of cool. Let's see. The Olloclip is only $69, and it started off, according to this article by TUAW's Michael Grothos. He writes, the Olloclip started off as a Kickstarter project and went on sale in May. So it's made out of aluminum, and it comes in red or black. And on the front end, it's got fisheye lens, which gives you a 180-degree field of view. And in the rear, you've got a wide-angle lens, which gives you a greater field of view than what your iPhone 4S camera would normally have. And you can then unscrew the wide-angle lens to give you access to macro lens that gives you 10 times the magnification of the subject of your shot. So it says here you just slip it onto the end of the iPhone. The notch in the clip is made of plastic, so you don't need to worry about scratching. So I think this is really a cool thing. If you take a lot of photos with your iPhone, you might want to get this. It might give you the flexibility to do more shooting. Now there's a website called Olloclip, so that's spelled OLLOCLIP, and it's just like a little attachment, and you just, I guess, you attach it on the corner of the iPhone S, and the iPhone 4S is 100% compatible with the Olloclip as well as the iPhone 4. So I don't know. This is really kind of cool. It ships with a carrying bag. They've got a good website with an FAQ section, frequent asked questions. Here's one. Is the Olloclip compatible with the iPhone 4S? Yes, it is. What is included? What is included? You get an iPhone 04 Olloclip with fisheye, wide-angle macro lens, lens cap for both ends, a microfiber lens cleaning cloth. That is also a bag that you can put the Olloclip in it to keep it safe. You get a small user's guide. So you get 3 lenses, fisheye, wide-angle, macro. How do you use it? You just remove the clip from the packaging. You pick one of the models, and they recommend the fisheye to start. And then you remove the lens cap, and you slide the Olloclip to the corner of your iPhone, making sure the lens choice will cover the iPhone rear camera. And you have to make sure your flash mode is deactivated. And if you have you can't, I guess, use it if you have a case or a screen protector. And then it goes, how can I use my macro function of the Olloclip? And it says that the macro lens is actually part of the wide-angle lens assembly. Simply unscrew the wide-angle lens in the direction of the arrow on the lens barrel. The macro lens is set perfectly within the Olloclip and would be flush with the clip when the wide-angle lens is removed. It says, to the question, are there any limits to using the fisheye? Short answer, no. So anyways, this looks like a pretty worthwhile attachment for your iPhone if you're looking to enhance your photos and have more flexibility. And, it's not that expensive. It's about $70. So you might want to check it out, Olloclip. Speaking of taking pictures with your iPhone, the iPhone 4S, which has only been out since mid-October, it has, according to AppleInsider, jumped out to be the second most popular camera phone on Flickr. So this article by Josh Ong on AppleInsider on November 22nd said that little more than a month after arriving on the market, Apple's latest handset has already become the second most popular camera phone on photo sharing, only behind the iPhone 4. Wow, that's pretty wild. It's really, and they have like a little graph here that shows the growth of the iPhone 4 in terms of shooting. And I will tell you, I've been using the iPhone 4S, and it takes amazing videos and amazing photos, much better than the iPhone 4. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that it's climbing up the charts on Flickr. Okay, so on Tuesday of this week, I finally got my unlocked, contract-free white iPhone 4S, 32 megabytes, that works on GSM network AT&T. Now, some of you may have remembered, I originally, on about October 14th, got on the first day a white iPhone on AT&T as part of an upgrade on AT&T with my contract. And I didn't get the fully subsidized version because I wasn't at that point with my AT&T contract. Well, they'd give me a full subsidy. So basically, I just got $200 off the white iPhone 4S. And I don't know if you remember, but about a week and a half ago, over the weekend, Apple started finally selling, in, I guess, mid-November, the unlocked contract-free iPhone 4S. And I thought the day that it came out, I acted quickly. I decided, you know what, I'm going to buy it. And I had still, it was less than 30 days since I got my contract upgrade iPhone 4S. And I thought, I'm going to return my iPhone 4S and get the unlocked version because the price difference is only $200. Now, it's pretty expensive. If you think about it, I was paying I think over $700, almost $800 for a phone. A computer costs that much money. But in the scheme of things, it was only $200 more than what I had paid with the minor AT&T subsidy. And the cool thing is it's unlocked without being jailbroken. So I was very excited to get it, and I had returned my iPhone 4S to AT&T, and they quickly gave me full credit. And it was kind of cool. It shipped last Saturday from China, and I got it on Tuesday. So it only took Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days for it to come by, I guess, Federal Express to my home in the United States. So I was very excited to get it back. And one of the first things I did was run out and get a T-Mobile SIM card. Now, here's the funny thing. You can go to T-Mobile, and T-Mobile is the only other provider that the unlocked contract-free iPhone will run on in the United States. Only AT&T and T-Mobile. And so if AT&T swallows up T-Mobile, that option's not going to be there. But here's the thing. I wanted to test it. And so I went to one T-Mobile store and I said, look, I want a pay-as-you-go micro SIM card. And one T-Mobile store, the people were kind of obnoxious. They were like, oh, you got to bring your phone in. And then only after I pressed them did they admit that they had a micro SIM card for just $10. But this one guy was like, no, and you got to pay another $10 for additional time credit on it, like another 30 minutes. And so I had to spend $20 on a SIM card. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that, because the $10 SIM card comes with like 4 minutes or 5 minutes with a telephone call, and I just want to test to see if it's connecting to the T-Mobile network. And the funny thing, this is why I hate carriers, because it's such a different experience dealing with carriers than it is than dealing with Apple. When I returned my iPhone 4, I just called up Apple. They said, yep, you're within 30 days, no problem. We'll send you a FedEx envelope. Boom. They sent me a FedEx label. I just shipped it. I got my credit promptly. With telephone carriers, whether it's AT&T or T-Mobile, the people who work there, it's such a bureaucracy. You just get the runaround, and I think that's the problem comes from the leadership. So here's the funny thing. So I just go to I called another T-Mobile store, and they're like, yeah, come on in. We'll just give you a $10 SIM card, micro SIM card. And so I went to this other T-Mobile store, and I got my micro SIM card, and it was easy. Now, what's interesting is when I got the iPhone 4S that was unlocked, it didn't come with a SIM card. So what I did is I first took the SIM card out of my old activated iPhone 4, which I still have, and I popped it into the iPhone 4S, and very quickly it became activated and connected to AT&T. So it was pretty easy. And then to connect T-Mobile, I just popped up the SIM card, popped in the T-Mobile card, and very quickly it recognized the T-Mobile network. Now with T-Mobile, you're not going to get 3G data speeds, but you do get edge speeds. And the thing is, if you're kind of sick of AT&T because the data speeds stink, and you're really only and you want to just save money, you could just get an iPhone and get one of these pay-as-you-go T-Mobile cards, and just pay for the telephone connection, and just then use the iPhone over Wi-Fi only for data when you're at home, or even consider getting a MiFi hotspot Wi-Fi thing. So anyways, if you look on my website, I have a screenshot of the settings, and if you look at it, it says T-Mobile E and the carrier T-Mobile. So that's kind of cool. I just think it's very very exciting. So I don't know. I feel so. And the other thing is AT&T reversed extending my contract. So my contract now will officially be up in June, and in February I'll be entitled to a free full upgrade. So in some ways I'm all set for the iPhone 5 next year. And but it's kind of cool having this officially unlocked iPhone. I think it's going to sell well on the resale market, because I could see people who are international travelers or people from overseas readily buying it. Okay, so one of the things that people have been waiting for in New York is the launch of the Apple Store in Grand Central Station. And word comes from AppleInsider via another site called The Gothamist that while they're readying the Apple Store in Grand Central Station, it's not going to come till December 9th. There had been some hope that they would open on Black Friday or the day before Thanksgiving, but they're still closed. They're still sort of covered, and there's a sign that says Apple Store Grand Central Station arriving soon. It's basically, it looks like it's on the east end of Grand Central Station, and it's apparently going to be the biggest Apple Store in the world. It's going to I think they said 300,000 square feet. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll try to go there on December 9th and get some video or some photos up. But it's definitely going to, really add to New York City. Grand Central is a magnificent, old, beautiful railroad station that says here that 700,000 commuters pass through it on any given day. So, I'm sure it's going to do well. One of the reasons Apple is owning it, because just up the street on Fifth Avenue, just, let's see, Grand Central's at 42nd Street. So that's about 17 blocks away is Apple's Fifth Avenue store. And that place is packed all the time. So I think Apple definitely needs to open a store just to take away some of the pressure. It says here, no, I'm sorry, it's going to be a 23,000 square foot store, not 300,000 square foot store, but it's still going to be very, very large. So it's going to be very cool when it opens. Okay, so that's it for the Apple Podcast, episode 99. Thanks for listening. Again, this is a chit-chat free podcast, and see you next week for, I guess, the 100th episode. We'll have to do something special for episode number 100. This is Lex at MacsFuture. Thanks for listening.
This has been a MacsFuture production.